Kelly Ripa and her family certainly know how to make memories. The live co-star and her husband, Mark Consuelos, share 3 grown-up children, Michael, 28, Lola, 24, and Joaquin, 22. And since becoming empty nesters back in 2021, quality time as a family has always been the #1 priority. Over the festive season, Kelly and Mark have managed to fit a lot in, with Kelly sharing several snapshots from the month so far on Instagram on December 26th. This has included a whirlwind beach vacation with their children. In one snapshot, Kelly and Mark posed on the beach at nighttime with their sons, who are now both taller than their mom and dad. Kelly looks stylish wearing a blue and white print strapless dress, while Michael, an actor, looked cool in a printed shirt and sweatpants. Joaquin, who has been living in Michigan since graduating from college there earlier in 2025, was dressed in a t-shirt and jeans, while Mark opted for a blue tee and white pants. While it wasn't revealed where the family were, it's likely they were in Palm Springs, where they have a vacation home. They also own properties in the Hamptons and New York City, their primary residence. Other pictures from the carousel included one of the couple's daughter, Lola, performing in London. Hello, we're amongst those who attended the intimate gig held in the UK's capital on December 12th. What's more, we were there to capture the moment when Lola realized her proud parents were in the audience, having pulled off the ultimate surprise for the talented singer. Kelly and Mark both stood by the door as they watched Lola perform, both dressed in flat caps to disguise themselves. Lola was understandably left speechless when she realized her parents were in attendance, with the sweet moment captured in the video above. Lola asked her parents how they had arrived at the venue, to which Kelly quipped, "An airplane." Later, after Lola left the stage, the family reunited with a group hug that left Lola in tears. "We're beside ourselves. She's been working so hard, and her hard work paid off, and guess what? We pulled off the ultimate surprise." Kelly later told Hello. "She didn't know we were here, and we wanted to wait until it was all over to surprise her. We didn't want to make her nervous." "I cried because I didn't know they were coming," added Lola. "You saw my reaction. I want to have a glass of wine soon because I have all this adrenaline rushing out, but I am really happy," she continued. "I'm so blessed that everyone came and supported me. It means a lot." Kelly and Mark have raised their 3 children to have an incredible work ethic, despite their privilege. Along with having a singer in the family, they also have 2 actors. Michael has appeared in shows including Riverdale, where he starred alongside his dad playing a younger version of Mark's character, Hiram Lodge. Joaquin, meanwhile, was recently cast in Hulu's upcoming pilot Foster Dade. Joaquin, who is represented by CAA and Untitled, is set to portray the character Colby. The official character description reads, "Colby projects confidence and revels in his status as a senior prefect in Brennan House. Obsessed with getting into Brown, he never misses a chance to drop the name for his resume. He kindly offers to show Foster around school, but his true colors reveal a rule-obsessed enforcer with a chip on his shoulder." As per the synopsis, Foster Dade is a sophisticated mystery set at an East Coast boarding school that explores privilege, scandal, sexuality, and masculinity amid the rise of social media, millennial anxiety, and pharmaceuticals. They arrived like a postcard, late, laughed out, and with sand still clinging to the hems of their clothes. The picture that later circled through feeds and magazine layouts captured one tiny slice of the evening. Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos on a dark stretch of sand, the ocean a black ribbon behind them, palms whispering against the wind. Between them stood two of their sons, shoulders broad, heads higher than their parents, silhouettes that made the famous couple look, for a moment, sweetly ordinary and suddenly small. It had been a long month. After years of splitting time between New York, the Hamptons, and whatever press obligations demanded their presence, Kelly and Mark had staged a quiet takeover of their own calendar. Their children, Michael, 28 and already carving out a career in acting, Lola, 24 and blooming into her voice, and Joaquin, 22 and recently grafting himself into the world of off-campus living and new additions, had gathered for a holiday that felt less like a social obligation and more like an insistence on being together. Since the house fell quiet in 2021, Kelly and Mark became empty nesters in the way parents do once kids begin building their own maps. Family time had been a policy, not an option. This December, the policy read, "Beach, no schedule, bring a towel and a story." Kelly, who moved through life with practiced ease and an eye for the comedic, had been the unofficial chronicler of the month's moments. Her Instagram that day, a cluster of snaps stitched into a carousel, was less a PR release and more a hymn to belonging. There were bright morning photos of coffee cups sweating in sunlight, a close-up of Lola, blonde light caught in her hair, smiling from behind a guitar, a candid shot of Michael loosening his collar that read like a pause between lines. Joaquin caught mid-laugh, hair mussed as if the wind had made a private joke at his expense. The night photograph, though, the one taken at the waterline, mattered like punctuation. Kelly's strapless dress read like a watercolor, blue and white print that matched the sea and made her shoulders look small. Mark wore his usual confidence, blue tee, white pants, his stance at once protective and playful. Michael, who had inherited his father's dramatic cadence and his mother's warmth, favored a printed shirt over relaxed sweatpants, a look that said he had dressed for comfort and an audience simultaneously. Joaquin, who had been living in Michigan since graduating college earlier in the year, rocked a t-shirt and jeans with the neat defiance of someone newly unmoored and excited by that state. Both boys, however, had grown in ways the camera loved, taller, broader, the gravitational pull of their parents' celebrity now bending toward them as if to emphasize time's forward motion. They stood in the sand and laughed because the cold surprised them, because the tide kept wanting to kiss their toes, because standing together made it obvious how the roles had shifted. For years, Kelly and Mark had been their children's front row seat, teacher, agent, cheerleader. In images like this one, the script turned, and they watched their offspring as people whose lives could no longer be easily described by son and daughter. They had careers and agents and resumes. Michael had been on television. Riverdale was an imprint in his trajectory, where he and his father had even shared a frame, a curious echo of generation. Joaquin had been cast in a pilot, Foster Dade, a title on an industry list that suggested a path. There was simply Lola, a voice being noticed, tears of surprise and gratitude caught in the glow of a nightclub stage. "Look at us," Kelly said, breath visible in the night air, and at once they were adults with the same marrow as the small children who once smeared peanut butter on their shirts. She felt a hum of something fierce, pride, nostalgia, the unavoidable knowing that a photograph was a kind of time machine. Mark reached for her hand, warm despite the breeze, and squeezed. "Everybody okay for margaritas tomorrow?" he asked, because Mark's way of setting the evening's tone was to put laughter on the calendar. "Only if we can make Joaquin do the conga line," Michael said, and the rest of them laughed because Joaquin, who often appeared to be traveling between seriousness and goofiness in his expression, had always